Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. We're delighted to have you all here to celebrate Shabbat with us. We're also delighted to have the Earl family celebrating an important simcha. Their good friend Kobe over here becoming bar mitzvah. So we're gonna that's a lot of things to celebrate this weekend, but I believe in us. I think we could do it. So thank you for joining us here in person. Thank you for joining us on Zoom and Facebook and YouTube. Wherever you're coming from, you're in the right place. We're glad to have you. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. If you are present with us, we ask that you have your mask on for the duration of the entire service. You'll see that we're not wearing masks up here because we are way up here. And when he's over there, he won't be wearing a mask because he's going to be way over there. But if you're in the kahal, we ask that you please have a mask on for the entire service. Those are the procedures that we came up with to keep us all safe. And we thank you for being a part of that. And if you are out there, I want to say an additional thank you to everyone here and out there and all over our world right now who has been able to take advantage of being vaccinated. So if you are vaccinated, thank you very, very much. That's going to be critical to our being able to gather in greater and greater numbers as time goes on. So anything else? Oh, that's right. This is a really, really musical community. We enjoy it when you sing. We like to sing, whether you're singing or not, but we much prefer it when you're singing with us. So we ask that if you know the song, sing along. If you don't know the song, give it a shot, or tap on your prayer book, or tap on something percussive in front of you. If you feel like dancing, I will not stop you. In fact, I may give a trophy at the end of the service for the best dancer. So, but please feel free to join in. We do this so that we can all share in this moment together. And did pretty much cover everything?
Yeah, but can I say,
Okay.
Can I say hi too?
Yes, please.
I want to say hi to the members of the Earl family, and I want to also say hi to the congregants who are here. I don't know how many of you, I don't have my glasses on, so I'm sure Rhonda is there for sure, and Ruth is there, Ruth K. But I want to say hi to the Blitzes and to the Ellis and hi, Joan, and to, and we have people here that I missed for such a long time, and I'm so happy to, and there you are, the Garaways, and everyone, I already said hi to them. So I just wanted to say hi to everyone. It makes Shabbat so much better to have people here with us.
Most definitely, and I can say with complete certainty you all have lovely eyes. So thank you for sharing that with us. So with that, we are going to begin Shabbat with a traditional tune that we have where we welcome in these angels, which escort us through Shabbat. They come in, they bless us, and they leave us in peace at the end of this holy time. It's Shalom Aleichem, and it can be found on page 13 in your prayer book.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Yasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LeShalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni LeShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedkem LeShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Amlachim
הקדוש ברוך הוא.
In addition to these protecting angels, one of the ways we welcome in Shabbat is with the lighting of Shabbat candles. And I'd like to invite up Gita Earl and Candace Earl and Michaela Earl to come up here and light the Shabbat candles right up here on our beam.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Amen. Shabbat shalom. Well done. So here in the beginning of this Kabbalat Shabbat service, the service of welcoming in Shabbat, one thing that we do is we find ways to ascend. We climb up out of everything that's been pulling us down during the week so that we can reach that holy space of Shabbat, sort of rise above everything. One way we do that is by climbing scales of song, and we start that with Lachuna Ranana on page 15.
Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzuri sheinu, nekad ma'afanav v'toda. Naria, naria, letzuri sheinu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. Lechune ranena, lechune ranena, lechune ranena, l'Adonai. כי אל גדול אדוני הוא מלך גדול על כל העולם. ואנחנו אומר איתו בצאן ידועים. ארבעים שנה אקוט רדור ואומר המתועים לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ואפי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי. Together. ספרו לגויים
to turn to page 22. Page 22, part of our ascent is this tune from merely about 500 years ago, Lecha Dodi, which means, come, my beloved. These are the Kabbalists of Tzfat speaking to Shabbat like a person, but not just any person, like a bride walking down the aisle, or like visiting royalty coming into their presence. And one of my favorite lines from this is in the middle, it's about 3 verses down, Yaminu Smol Tifrotzi, which means to the left and to the right, they split apart. And one of my teachers, Joey Weissenberg, related the story of reading a book one summer about Abraham Lincoln. And when he was reading a description of Abraham Lincoln going through Gettysburg, and kind of a tall dude, everybody saw him coming, and all the soldiers split to the left and to the right to greet this person that was so dear to them. And when he read about this Jewish musician said, that sounds like Lecha Dodi. That sounds like how we make way for Shabbat. And we do it with this song, Lecha Dodi, on page 22.
And I think we do it intentionally because we want to pause everything to let Shabbat spirit come into our lives. Mm-hmm. So the image that I always have in my mind every time you say that, I think the same thing, which is pause, turn off your cell phones, take a deep breath, let the world stand still. It'll be there on Sunday anyway. Mm-hmm. And let's experience being present. And that's what Shabbat for me is for. So we will be, as I said last week, I realized that I wasn't clear. Some melodies of Lecha Dodi start at the beginning of Lecha Dodi with the 9 stanzas. Some of them do only 3 or 2. Today, we're doing the last 4, so we are on page 22.
Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת מקבלה.
Try it again.
Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת מקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, ובך יחסו עניי ימי ונבנתה גירלתי לה.
Together.
Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. והיו לי משיסה שוסייך ורחתו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כמסוס חתן על כלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha Dodi לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Here we go. Yaminu Small.
ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי. על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונא צולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת לקבלה. Let's try that again. Feel free to move a little bit. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת לקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת
You may be seated if you wish. Before we conclude this part of our service, which welcomes in Shabbat, we conclude with the Psalm for Shabbat, which is on page 23. And I'd like to call on Kobe's uncle, David Earl, who I believe is on Zoom
Here he is.
from Eretz Yisrael.
ארץ הקודש.
Unmute.
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever I'm ready.
Yep.
A song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai. Your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtlessness cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, spring up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble. But you may have greatly exalted, but me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock in whom there is no flaw.
He looks awake.
Yeshkoch, well done. And now we have a musical version of that as well. We're still
We
on page
do.
23, the facing page 23.
Let's join together. And thank you, David, for waking up.
The balloons are a nice touch.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי עצור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון ותינון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשיך ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך
Once again, Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and thank you for joining us here at Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. Wherever you're coming from, we're really grateful to have you here to celebrate Shabbat. We're grateful to the Earl family to celebrate their family simcha with Kobe becoming bar mitzvah with us. And so I'm going to take a little pause for some Torah study here before we get on with our Mariv evening prayers. It's a little bit of Torah study, a little bit of rabbinic literature, and a bit of a PSA as well. Because, yes, we are in Parashat Shoftim. Yes, we are immersed in a rich tradition that has timeless wisdom for us, and we live in an ever-changing world, which we always have to be conscious of and apply those timeless values to. But first, I want to point out that here we are in Parashat Shoftim, and my good friend Kobe has an excellent interpretation tomorrow on the concept of the Ir Miklat, the city of refuge, and what that has to teach us in everyday life today, even if we don't have as much, let's say, blood vendettas going on the way we used to. That's not, I guess that's the bad old days. What we have here in Parashat Shoftim in the very, very beginning is, I'm going to say, some of the, not very at the very top, it's going to be in the top 10 of the most famous three-word phrases in the Torah, and two of them are the same word. And I see somebody from our Social Justice Committee nodding in the back because we all have buttons that say this on there. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdof. This is from Devarim, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 20. And this short sentence, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, often translated as justice, comma, justice you shall pursue, is one of those phrases that one of my teachers, Rabbi Sean Fieldsmeyer, would say. This is one of those sentences in the Torah that just scream out to us, darsheni, meaning, interpret me, please interpret me. Because we see two words together, and it raises the question, why doesn't it just say, tzedek tirdof? Is it not enough to pursue justice? Why do we have to pursue justice, for example? Why is it repeated? And the sages had this hermeneutical principle that there are no extra words in the Torah. There are no redundancies. And so if you see something repeated, it must be repeated for a reason. And because we have a tradition of rabbinic interpretation, there are lots of different answers for this. If somebody tells you the one right answer to this question, tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, then you should, probably ask for another explanation. Some people think it's because of emphasis, right? It's saying, okay, just let's be clear what we're pursuing here, justice justice, in case you missed the first justice. But that is not enough of a reason to repeat. There must be a couple of different kinds of justice, or there must be a couple of different modes of justice. And what is often come up with is this idea of maybe it's not justice, but a just justice you shall pursue, right? One is a noun, one is an adjective. This is an instruction to judges, saying it's not enough to adjudicate, but you have to adjudicate in a fair or just way. Another interpretation is that maybe these are two different kinds of justice. One is, let's say, formal. Are we playing by the rules when deciding a case? Another is distributive. Is the outcome fair? Because it's possible to play by the rules and still have an outcome that doesn't seem fair. You could also make the case that if the rules of the game are fair, then the outcome is necessarily fair. But the rabbis knew that we were human, and it didn't always work out that way. I like to think along those lines with a slight tweak that when you pursue justice, you should pursue it with the right process, but also with a just process, a fair process, but also with just goals in mind. Are you aiming at the right outcome? And we're immersed in that right now. As I said, we do live in the world. We do live in a time where we have been immersed in a pandemic for, I can't even say a year and a half anymore. It's longer than that, it seems like. And just as we think we're about to come out of it, and just as we have this eye on a high holidays that starts to feel familiar like a couple of high holidays ago, we have a new variant of the virus that we've been working against, or maybe that's been working against us, that questions all of our assumptions about how this virus spreads, about how we keep each other safe, which we've been working so hard to do for the last year and a half. On the one hand, we just want to put down our swords, pick up our flowers, and hug each other. Right? That's why we've been fighting so long, hasn't it? On the other hand, what horrible waste it would be to go through all that we've gone through, and I'll call on my Texas upbringing here, to drop the ball at the 1-yard line, to screw it up now. Especially when in this community we've been so safe. And here is the PSA. Many times you've heard me thank, praise, laud, wash the car of, if I could, our Safety and Security Task Force. This Safety and Security Task Force is now meeting weekly, gathering data weekly from multiple conference calls going on in the county level, speaking to schools, speaking to people who are in early childhood education, speaking specifically to different congregations. We've got a spreadsheet tracker of what all the different congregations are doing right now, not because we're going to go along with the herd, but because we're all looking for good ideas. And we're seeing how our colleagues are responding to what we are in crisis about. And I bring that up because I feel I owe it to you to tell you that how we gather 3 weeks from now is still in flux. And I'm telling you that not to scare you. I'm telling you that not to, make other plans. I'm telling you that to ask for your patience. I'm telling you that because we don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next 3 weeks. That's why we meet weekly. And it could be that we adopt restrictions that we haven't adopted yet. It could be that we do ask for attestation of vaccination status. It could be that under certain conditions people are asked for negative COVID tests. Because it's certain that we will do whatever we can to gather safely. Many, many years ago, we were in turmoil. You could ask, when weren't we? But this was a doozy. This was after Nebuchadnezzar breached the walls of Jerusalem and sent us into exile in Babylonia. We were robbed of all the ways that we gather. We were robbed of everything we knew in how to get together for holidays, how to socially and spiritually connect to one another and to God. We had nothing except each other and the will to figure it out. You think we have meetings now. They didn't have Zoom, but... And they did it. Our tradition has that, people argue whether this is a legend or an actual fact. We had what we called the Anshe Knesset Hagadol. There was a gathering of sages and scribes and prophets and lay leaders and experts of the time and community leaders who said, I know we can't do it the way we love, but let's do it because we love each other and figure it out. And they did, and they met. And this small group of 120 people, over the course of a very long time, canonized the Torah, fixed how we pray now. We've improved on it a little bit. But they did so much to make sure that we could stay connected. And the very first teaching that we have on record for them is in Pirkei Avot, in the first passage, where they passed on to us these principles. Be cautious in rendering a decision. Raise up your experts and build a fence to protect the Torah. No decision in the next 3 weeks will be made lightly, or in the dark, or without consultation from a diverse group of our congregants. We will listen to our experts, both people in this congregation and people around the city and around the country. And at the end of the day, we probably will build a fence. We will probably be more careful than some people are comfortable with. But the reason this is an enduring principle of Rabbinic Judaism, asusiag l'Torah, is because in their day, if you violated a commandment of the Torah, that was a matter of life and death. And they said, I know this is the strict letter of the law. I know this is the fence that we can play right up to. But let's move it just a little bit farther out. Not because we don't trust people, not because we don't believe in personal freedom, but because we're human, and humans make mistakes, and humans trip on stuff. And with the best of intentions, humans hurt themselves and others. So we're going to move the fence a little bit farther out. So I just want to close with a call to action that you read the emails from us, because there's going to be some critically important information coming out. I want to highly encourage you, if you haven't already, to go to our website or call our office and state your preferences for whether you'd rather be here in person or connecting to us from home. That helps us plan. That helps us figure out the best service for everybody and the safest service for everybody. And if you change your mind over the next couple of weeks, that's okay. Go to the website, call us up, let us know. If we change our rules and that changes your plans, let us know. That's okay. We're going to figure this out together. But please, please, RSVP, let us know where your heart is at so that we can get all of our hearts together and focused in one direction. Back to Tzedek Tzedek Tirdof. We need to do this the right way. And we need to do it with the right goals. The right goals are not, are we here this year? The right goal is, are we here next year? And if we keep our eye on that horizon, and we make our decisions with wisdom and fairness and transparency, I believe we will endure in the coming year and for years to come. Thank you for listening. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to continue with the Ma'ariv service on page 28. Page 28, we rise and face the ark for the Barhu, our call to blessing.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed.
ברוך המבורך לעולם
Baruch atah Adonai
ועד.
Eloheinu melech haolam.
ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
המעריב הרבים.
Amen. You may be seated as we continue to bless God for God's constant love on page 29, Havat Olam.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו, ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, נהגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל.
We go to page 30 and we go to Kobe, who's going to lead us in the Shema and the V'ahavta on page 30.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Baruch
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
והיה אם שמרדש ומצוות אשר מאמץ.
And continue at the bottom with the next passage at your own pace. We'll get back together in just a minute. We join together at the top of page 31. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, ve'amarta lehem, v'asu lehem tzitzit, al kanfei bigdeihem לדורותם, ונעדו על ציצית הכנף בטיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים, אני
אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם, amen.
אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו.
We continue on page 32 with a blessing for God, for God's nature as a redeemer, answering us when we call.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקר היום לפני משה ומרים. זה לי, זה לי, אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדיו את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Amen. We continue with Hashkivenu on page 33. I'd like to call up Michaela Earl, who's going to lead us in the Hashkivenu on page 33. I'm going to go to the other podium.
Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Amen. Kol hakavod. Well done. On the facing page 33, we'll sing this blessing together.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום ועמידנו שומרנו לחיים ושמור את צאתנו ומוענו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום ועמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו לשלום ועמידנו שומרנו לחיים שלום 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 ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ואל כל עמו ישראל ואל כל יושבי תבל ועל ירושלים.
Amen. We continue on the top of page 34, page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם לברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם בין יהיו בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה
Amen.
בעלמא דברה קראת וימליך מלכותה וחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו
Amen.
יהי שמרה במבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן וימרו.
Amen. We rise and face the ark for the Amidah for Shabbat evening on page 35b. This is a silent or private Amidah, so your private prayers are what's asked for here, or just take a few moments of peace. When you're finished with your private prayers, you may be seated, and we'll get back together in just a moment.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Conclude the Amidah with the Kaddish Shalem on page 48. Page 48. יתגדל ויקרא שמי רבה,
אמן.
בעלמא דברה קירותיה וימליך מלכותיה, בחיי יחון וימיכון ובחיי תכו בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו,
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויפור ויתרומם וינשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ותהלל שמי לקודשה,
בריחו.
לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמא ואמרו,
אמן.
תקבל צלור הון ובעל הון דכל ישראל, קורמה והון דבישמיא ואמרו, אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו, amen. And we are approaching the conclusion of the service. We're going to turn to page 51, for Elenu. I'm going to call on Kobe's aunt and uncle, Rhonda Botros and Sean Martin, to come and open the ark for us. I'll ask everyone else to please rise and face the ark for Elenu. We're on page 51.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שמונת השמונה משה וקרא שמונה משה. על כן נקווה לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מרב ותפארת עוזך. כי המלכות שלך היא, וללמיה תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב את תורתך אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד, ונאמר, ואי אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Please remain standing as the ark is closed. The ark is closed. You may be seated. Well done. Even as we gather in times of great joy like this, it's perhaps now when we most acutely remember those who are no longer with us, and we remember them with honor. This week at PJTC, we are marking the Yahrzeit, that is the anniversary of the passing of Anna Jacoby, Bernice Cutler, Betty Slifkin, Betty Shore, Edwina Warner, Evelyn Friedman, Fanny Retzky, Gordon Franklin Ackerson, Hannah Rosenbaum, Hannah Odell, Harold Rothstein, Howard Ledeen, Irving Fuhr, Julia Cherwinski, Lena Kantrowitz, Lena Schultz, Leo Schaffler, Leslie Brody, Marjorie Sue Laska, Martin Lewin, Marvin Stein, Max Perry, Mildred Michaels, Molly Cohen, Morris Schur, Nathan Brown, Paul Kaplan, Rachel Stryker, Regina Moskowitz, Rose Green, Rose Idatansky, Rose Label, Rulin Hockman, Ruth Leopold, Sarah Jaslow, Sarah Strockler, Selma Hassman, Stanley Merrill Claster, and William Rosenberg. I also need to mention our community mourns the loss of Zoltan Jung, David Ben Eliyahu Menachem, nephew of Eva Lengel. Zoltan passed away this past August 8th, 2021 in Budapest. We pray that Zoltan's memory be for a blessing. Hamakom Yenachem. May God comfort and strengthen the family at this time.
Amen.
I'll ask anyone who is in mourning or observing a yard site to please rise. We're going to pray the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish, together. Page 52. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach leolam u'lomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bi'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated if you wish. Before we conclude the service, because of the occasion of celebrating Kobe becoming bar mitzvah, we have a number of gifts and presentations for him. So we're going to have presentations by our USY youth group, our wonderful sisterhood here at PJTC, as well as our excellent men's club, starting with the USY. And I believe our friend Sam Svankin is on Zoom for a USY presentation. There he is.
Mazel Tov, Kobe. My name is Sam, and I'm here on behalf of the USY board. You did amazing tonight. USY helped me stay connected to Judaism after my bar mitzvah and meet new people, as well as stay friends with people I've known for over 10 years. I hope today I can get you that same amazing experience by presenting you with this. It's a B'chol Echad, which is a songbook we use at USY events for Sloach and Ruach. I hope I can see you use it at events in the near future. You did amazing tonight, and I know you'll do amazing tomorrow. Mazel Tov.
Say thank you, Sam. And now I'm going to call on Sandra Dreschner, who is, I believe, right over here, coming up to the podium, who's going to make a presentation on behalf of our sisterhood.
Mazel Tov, Kobe. On behalf of the PJTC Sisterhood, I would like to present you with your own Kiddush cup. May this serve as a constant reminder of your dedication and commitment to your Jewish values and heritage from this day forward. I know that helping people that are underprivileged is something that you feel connected to, and you've done that by supplying necessary goodie bags to help those in need at Friends of Deed. I look forward to hearing you chant from the Torah tomorrow as a bar mitzvah, and again, Mazel Tov.
Yeshkoach. Thank you, Sandra. And now I'd like to call up Ira Blitz, who has a presentation on behalf of the PJTC Men's Club.
Hi, Kobe. It was a pleasure seeing you up here tonight. I congratulate you on behalf of Men's Club. You know, I've known your family for many years. In fact, I remember when your father had his bar mitzvah. So I think it's only fitting that I have the opportunity tonight to present you with a yad at your bar mitzvah. You know, I know you have many interests, including swimming, electric scooters, video games, but I was most happy to hear about your mitzvah project, helping the homeless. I know your family is very proud of you. Well, I'm up here tonight, as you know, representing Men's Club, whose mission it is to support the youth programs in our community, including B'nai Simcha, the Louis B. Silver Religious School, the USY, Federation Youth Orchestra, camping scholarships. But tonight it's my honor and pleasure to do my favorite duty of presenting a yad to you on behalf of Men's Club. The yad represents extra spirituality when reading the Torah and protects the Torah. Tomorrow you're going to have the mitzvah of using this yad when you read the Torah. congratulations again on behalf of Men's Club. Here it is.
Yeah, Shikoak, thank you, Ira. And our Zoom coordinator tonight read my mind. I wanted to give a spotlight to Uncle David, who's got excellent. Let's go to Uncle David one more time. Those take the cake for best bar mitzvah props of the year. So that's, you know, we gather in times of seriousness and solemnity. We also gather together in times of great joy, and as one of my teachers, Rabbi Artson, would say, divine silliness. And all of those are part of a complete Jewish life. So speaking of celebration, we are now going to end as we began, and that is enjoy a song. I invite you to rise and sing with us. And then afterwards, we're going to make Kiddush up here on everybody's behalf. And then outside, we have wine and juice and some stuff. And please feel free to grab some nosh outside after the service. But for right now, let's sing our way out of here.
Odiavo shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Odiavo shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Odiavo shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, odiavo shalom aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom.
Shabbos, everybody. So we invite you to stay in here while we make Kiddush up here. I'll invite the family up to join us for Kiddush. If you're joining us from home, I think we've got some announcements that are going to be scrolling here in a second. I want to thank Uncle David for some excellent special effects. And then everybody, eyes front, hearts open, can't lose. We're going to make Kiddush up here, and then we'll all join together outside.
We're going to leave the moment of saying hi for a teeny bit later. In the meantime, pick up one of the Kiddush cups.
Make sure Kobe has
First,
the
the Kiddush
Kobe gets the
cups.
big one.
We're going to put the challah down just for a moment. Do you guys have Kiddush cups with you, all of you? Very nice. Kobe, let's hold it together. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Together we lift up our cups. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחיל לנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תהילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים. Together. כי בנו ובחרת אתה, ואותנו קידשת עם כל המים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. לחיים.
L'chaim. All right, if you wish to wash at home, go right ahead. I'll make a Netilat Yadayim here on everybody's behalf. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu v'tzatav v'tzivanu al Netilat Yadayim.
Amen. We go back to the challah moment. You can uncover it. Oh, that's such a beautiful challah. Let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. You take a piece. Shabbat shalom, everyone. And we will...
Good Shabbos, everybody. I think there's some juice and bread waiting for people outside if you like, and I'll see you out there. Mazel tov, mazel tov. There you go. Nope, I will not. You don't get out that easy.
I don't know what happened. I got muted.